Welcome to our first fantasy booking video, and it's for Wrestlemania 41. Vegas, what is Wrestlemania? We only have two matches already announced. We've got Gunther and Jey Uso for the world title in the main event. What a match this will be. I'm actually quite shocked this match is going to actually happen. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, a match that quite a lot of people are excited about, but now it's my predictions of the other matches. We've got Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. I think we're going to have this match because of the rivalry that's been brewing between these two. And I think they're going to snap. Maybe we see a heel demon Finn Balor and maybe a baby face Dominic Mysterio. I do think this should be a part of the WrestleMania card. And I hope these two, because I know these two can pull out a great match if they can. It could be a brilliant match, we don't know. Dominic Mysterio matches at WrestleMania are quite good. Finn Balor as well, we need that push for Finn Balor really badly. We've not had a pushed Finn Balor since about SummerSlam last year, which has been too long. We need a good side of Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio with Liv Morgan winning back her tag team titles. I just think it could be the end of Judgment Day at WrestleMania. It was the end of Judgment Day last year, and then this year it could be the end of Judgment Day forever. The new version. Maybe we see a debuting Malachi Black revealing himself as a leader of Judgment Day and trying to mould these two back together, or help out one of them. We don't know, but at this point we do think that JD McDonough is on the side of Finn Balor. But it's like the Judgment Day is so far apart from each other. We don't have a clue of who and where our people going to be with. But yeah, this match I think should honestly be on the card. It would be actually a good match, I think, in my opinion. And these two do put out a good match, and we need Dominic Mysterio in their full potential. Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest, a very underrated match. This is the best match I think could happen. Two giants battling out at WrestleMania. Damian Priest doesn't have a rivalry to go into WrestleMania with. Braun don't either, unless he fights someone like Jacob Fatu, which I highly doubt it. But these two both are two great stars, and I think they would fit perfectly fighting each other at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. I just think it should happen. Now we've got the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits. I just think this is going to happen because at what happened at Royal Rumble. Because one of my choices was going to be Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY in a triple threat for the titles. But I don't think WWE is going to pull the trigger on that. I think the closest thing we're going to get is these two fighting, because I have a better match in mind for DIY at WrestleMania, which could be just such much better than having the same rivalry. Of course, DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns matches have not disappointed. One of my favourite matches were at the Royal Rumble when they had that 2 out of 3 falls match. But I think that just ties in this match so perfectly. I think they're leading up to a match like this. And I hope they do, because this match, in my opinion, could be a match of the year contender, because it's got so much star power. Street Profits had their prime in NXT and when they were Raw Tag Team titles, and Motor City Machine Guns had their prime. They've been like around the world, and have to beat the Street Profits, or Street Profits beating Motor City Machine Guns would just add so much. Pentagon Jr. versus Rey Mysterio. I honestly think that this should happen. Two of the greatest luchadors to ever set foot in the squared circle, battling out at the biggest stage of them all. Penta's first Mania against his childhood hero. He says on one of his documentaries, he wants to be the first. He doesn't want to be the next Rey Mysterio. He wants to be the first Penta. And beating Rey Mysterio at the show of shows could prove that he has the chance of doing such a caliber like this. This would be a great match. We had a preview of this at the Royal Rumble, but we need to see these guys' full potential in a ring. In that Royal Rumble match, first two were these two. And I think, same as last year, as Jay versus Jimmy, sadly that wasn't the best of matches. I think it will be the first two were Jay and Jimmy last year, and the first two this year were Penta and Ray. And I think that this match could steal the show of... I honestly think this should be a night one match, just because the night two matches are like normally packed with like hard hitting matches. As much as I think this is the most hard hitting match, it is two cruiserweights, and I'm not despising them, but I think if they two fight, it would be a great match. Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Hear me out. Karrion Kross is trying to find Sami Zayn and try and do what he does to so many other people and fight him. Honestly, in my opinion, this match should happen. Either way, Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn should happen. Maybe Karrion Kross shows up at Elimination Chamber and costs Sami the match. Highly likely, but I do think this could happen, because except from Kevin Owens, Karrion Kross is the only person I see Sami Zayn fighting at WrestleMania. I cannot see Kevin Owens fighting him because of another rivalry, another major rivalry Kevin Owens is in at the moment. But Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, it may sound bad, but if you see these two in the ring, it would be a brilliant match. And this is what I was talking about. This is the match that I think that should be Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. I think at WrestleMania at Las Vegas, it will be Kevin Owens versus the returning Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, to get revenge on what Kevin Owens did to Randy Orton back around about Saturday night's main event or Survivor Series, when he gave that power driver. And I think at WrestleMania, Kevin Owens got everything coming to him from the Viper, the Legend Killer, Randy freaking Orton. I think this, on its own, could be a main event match. You could say this at the main event of a main event pay-per-view, and it would get so many butts in seats of how good this storyline has been for the last couple of months. Randy's been out injured, or so we think, and Kevin Owens has been thriving in matches against the greatest match I've ever seen him in, against Cody Rhodes. Probably going to have the best match of his career against Sami Zayn in Toronto, Canada, at Elimination Chamber. But this match, it's going to blow my mind. If they don't pull the trigger on this match, these two men, I don't think, are going to be on the WrestleMania card. Because if they don't have this match, there are no other matches for them to have. There is no other matches. In my honest opinion, these two could fight, unless Randy Orton finds a way to get in the chamber. Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre, another one that people might get mad at me. Jimmy Uso deserves a spot at WrestleMania. This guy is one of the most underrated. He may have been carried by his brother, the Royal Rumble winner, facing for the World Championship. But on SmackDown, he's been killing it lately. He's trying to get the legacy and beat the legacy of his twin brother. And Drew McIntyre's been bullying him, been picking on him, been targeting him, and I think Jimmy Uso is going to finally snap on Drew McIntyre and try and beat this man for good and end this Drew McIntyre bounty under storyline. I honestly don't think Drew McIntyre's going to win the Elimination Chamber, but I do think he has a chance of beating Jimmy Uso, or Jimmy Uso could shock the whole world and beat Drew McIntyre. That could be an absolute destructive, brilliant plan that he could pull. Now, this match is a match I am desperate to see at WrestleMania. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I want to see a heel Jacob Fatu facing a babyface Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania. This could be an absolute banger. former enforcers. Solo being a former enforcer of Roman Reigns, now Jacob Fatu being an enforcer of Solo, and because of the rivalry they've been doing lately, I do believe this should happen at the show of shows. Two absolute giants, great superstars fighting each other, battling it out, finally squashing the beef at WrestleMania. There are so many routes you can do to get to this match. They've been fighting each other. They've not really fought each other. They keep attacking each other. It's a bit like a Grayson Waller and Austin Theory situation. Still thinking that Austin Theory should pull the trigger on Grayson Waller, but that's beside the point. I still think by WrestleMania, Jake Fatu will snap on Solo Sikoa and leave him, and probably take Tama Tonga with him, because I think Jake Fatu is such a great solo superstar. Now, this is what I thought Roman Reigns' match would be at WrestleMania. Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania. I expected this to be Roman's match. But now, I'm starting to think this is going to be Roman Reigns' match. I think at WrestleMania, it will be Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I think this is going to be the match, except from Roman versus Rock. I know Roman versus Rock could have so much potential, but you take three of WWE's most popular stars at the moment, put them all together in a match, you could be making millions, even billions. These three men fighting the same match could be absolutely anarchy in bedlam. This could be the greatest match in WrestleMania history. Could be better than a quite underrated match in Brock Lesnar vs Seth Rollins versus John Cena at Royal Rumble. This could be stick all three members of greatness in together, and that point they did it at the Royal Rumble, that has catapulted these three men to fight at WrestleMania. It needs to happen. WWE, book it now. You need this match. We need this match. This triple threat could win everyone. Now for the title matches, I have Lyra Valkyria versus Ivy Nile for the women's Intercontinental title. This rivalry, I've not been watching women's wrestling lately, but the women's wrestling I have been watching is Lyra Valkyria's work. I'm a massive Lyra fan. I am a big fan of the mid-core women's titles. This rivalry, it may be quite small, but if they do it right, this match could be an absolute banger. I don't think they're going to do this at another pay-per-view in between now and WrestleMania, because it'll just ruin it. I think that we need these two women in a match facing each other, and my original plan was going to be Lyra versus Becky Lynch, but I don't think Becky Lynch is going to be back in time. Maybe she's in a Raw after Mania, but I just think this is the safest option for now, because if you fantasize another match that might not even happen, it will not work. Now, I'm actually really sad, I've got to say this, because I think you could do so much with Chelsea Green and the United States title. I think you could do so much. But if I'm being honest, Michin is the only woman who I see in a rivalry with Chelsea Green right now. I do not see anyone else in the women's division to fight Chelsea Green. And I honestly think that, sadly, a Piper Niven is going to betray Chelsea Green, and then Michin is going to win the United States title. That is what should have happened at Saturday Night Main Event. But WWE likes playing with us and don't like me because they know I don't like Chelsea Green. I really don't. I'm a massive Michin fan. Lyra and Michin are two of my favourite women's wrestlers, and Io Sky and Alexa Bliss. But Michin versus Chelsea Green, as much as I've seen this match so many times and I hate watching these matches, Michin has so much potential. Chelsea, I know I'm saying this a lot, has quite a lot of potential. You would expect that from her. She is literally the partner of Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, the indie king. Her and Michin may be quite crazy, but it could work. This is just a wild card. I have no idea what could happen with Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania. I've just thought of Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Because if I'm being honest, I don't see anyone else. I can't think of anyone in the women's division to fight these two. I have to admit, that one with Bianca Belair and Naomi, when them two and Liv and Raquel fought in that match, it was glorious. Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, as much as I don't like them, I honestly can say that you've got to give Candice LeRae the credit. When she goes out that ring, she tries her best. She tries to be that cocky little woman who's trying to be the greatest little heel. She can't. But winning a match like this at WrestleMania against one of the greatest women's tag team I've ever seen, that could catapult both two women to major star power. This could shock the world. This could honestly put so many stuff in seats, and I can't wait if this happens. This is what I think I see DIY fight. I see the TNA Tag Team Champions versus DIY for the WWE Tag Team titles. Hear me out. Because of TNA and WWE partnering up together, we have so many different possibilities. The Hardy Boys at WrestleMania, how can you not want to see that? You cannot want to see that. If you don't want to see that, you are honestly not a wrestling fan. This match could be brilliant. I would spend as much money as I could to see this match. Two of the greatest tag teams I've seen. DIY, the greatest tag team in modern day history. Hardy Boys, one of the greatest tag team in all of history, fighting for the WWE Tag Team titles. And these are the people I think they're going to lose the titles to. Sadly, but I do believe that we will see new tag team champions, and we will see the Hardy Boys come to WrestleMania. This is another wild card. Viking Raiders, War Raiders, whatever you've been called, what are you doing? You've been given these titles to represent the tag team division, and the build-up to you winning those titles, I really wanted you to win. I really like the War Raiders, but at the same time, you've not been pulling your weight lately. But I do see a tag team like the New Day to go to WrestleMania and face the War Raiders, not winning the match, because I think Big E, this is where Big E can get back the New Day for betraying him, and getting some flesh back for the fans. And when I'm saying fans, I am fans. I am the fans. I want Big E to beat these two up. These two left my poor Big E in the dirt. And you shouldn't do that to your friends. Like, the New Day was one of the most decorative tag teams, and I can't believe that will happen. Another match. Because of the qualifying matches and number one contenders, I do believe LA Knight's going to win the number one contenders match and going to go on to WrestleMania Vegas, WrestleMania 41, and he will go and face Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. I think this is where LA Knight wins the United States Championship, just because I think he deserves it. Since he's lost that title, in my opinion, since he's lost that title, he's had better matches. I'm being brutally honest. He's had better matches without the title. And lots of people said that with Liv Morgan. Great, but I do believe that. Right. I do not know why I wanted to put Logan Paul in this, but hear me out. I would have said Braun Breaker to fight someone else. My original plan was Braun Breaker versus Penta, but then at Raw, when they stare each other down, AJ and Braun, I see that connection. I see how much brilliantness is in those two. But at the same time, you've got to fit Logan Paul in the WrestleMania card somewhere, and I do not see him facing John Cena at his last WrestleMania. That would get me very mad and a lot of fans very mad. And I do believe that AJ Styles and Logan Paul in the same ring fighting each other could be globally brilliant. And Braun Breaker. He is literally a breaker. He breaks people in half and he could retain the title here. Another triple threat. Rhea Ripley versus who I think is going to win the Elimination Chamber, Alexa Bliss versus Io Sky. I do believe Io Sky is going to fight Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, but I do believe Alexa Bliss is going to win the Chamber. So I think it's going to be a triple threat because I think it's going to be a bit like a Roman versus Edge situation. Edge won the Royal Rumble. He chose Roman Reigns, but Daniel Bryan, he kept trying to butt himself in that main event. And as here we are, John Cena's last ever WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I believe John Cena is going to win the Chamber and go to Cody Rhodes, fight the Undisputed title, and I do believe Cody Rhodes will walk into WrestleMania with black hair, and he has given The Rock his soul. I want to see at WrestleMania a brilliant heel Homelander style Cody Rhodes versus a good guy John Cena. John Cena and deserves this match. He deserves everything he's been given in this company. And I do believe that at WrestleMania, his last ever WrestleMania, he does deserve to fight Cody Rhodes, the man he helped to win the title in the first place. Thank you all for watching. See you all at WrestleMania. Deuces, ooses.